Well, Japan is really home to many awesome and outstanding roller coasters, but we haven't really tried them because this country is just located far away from many of us. And with a great collection of coasters comes a great collection of and that is why Japan is a bucket list place for many of us. And in this video I'm gonna go over the top 15 best roller coasters in Japan. Wait, just before the countdown, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more awesome videos. Now coming in at spot number 15 we got Diavlo at Himeji Central Park. Diavlo is part of the very intense B&M inverted coaster layout, and this is where we got the original Batman the Ride cloned layout. And if you have ridden those cloned layouts, you know this ride is quite intense and whippy. Well, I must say the 5 total inversions on this coaster are the stars, because this is where you experience the strong whip and positive G-forces. And this ride really has a beautiful location with the smaller scaled mountains in the background. Coming in at spot number 14 we got Space Mountain at Tokyo Disneyland. And now rest in peace Space Mountain at Tokyo Disneyland, because the ride is getting refurbished for a few years now. This ride opened back in 1983, and this was 8 years after the original Space Mountain at Magic Kingdom. And even though the original is the best in my opinion, this ride still features a strong roller coaster layout. The ride mainly focuses on these sharp drops and strong turns, and combined with the outdated yet awesome theming, this ride was just overall very fun. Now coming in at spot number 13 we got Zokkon at Fuji-Q Highland, and this is actually a family thrill motorbike / LSM launch coaster created by Intamin. Well, even though this ride features the magnetic launch, you can't really feel the strong force in them. Zokkon is also filled with many special track elements, and this is where you can also experience this very weird looking stall element. And Zokkon can't really match the intensity of Juwelen, the awesome motorbike coaster at Djurs Sommerland, but this one is still alright. Now coming in at spot number 12 we got Acrobat located at Nagashima Sparland. Well, this B&M flying coaster really does look familiar in my opinion. And yes, that's because it's a cloned layout of the Manta flying coaster at SeaWorld Orlando. And after the twisted first drop you have this very intense pretzel loop element, by far the best thing on this ride. And after that the rest of the layout is mainly a highly elevated layout with a few whippy inversions and a graceful layout. And yes, Acrobat still features the iconic splashdown element. Now coming in at spot number 11 we got Thunder Dolphin at Tokyo Dome City. And well, this location might be one of the most epic in the whole world, because this ride is just located on top of a building in central city Tokyo, and they decided to go all in with a hyper coaster created by Intamin. And now because of the location it is quite hard to create a world-class coaster layout, but Thunder Dolphin overall is just alright. The layout in itself is quite short, and it is also filled with a few dead spots, but the first drop is awesome, the lap bar is comfy, the ride experience is smooth, so overall it's just great. Now coming in at spot number 10 we got Do-Dodonpa at Fuji-Q Highland. And now it's sad to say this, but rest in peace Do-Dodonpa. This roller coaster featured the most aggressive and fastest acceleration in the whole world. This ride accelerated from 0 to 180 kilometers per hour, and that is 112 miles per hour in just 1.6 seconds. That is just crazy. Then after that you got the drawn out turn, a huge vertical loop, and then the ride experience was pretty much done. So we can pretty much say that this SNS air launch coaster was just a one-trick pony. And now coming in at spot number 9 we got Takabishi at Fuji-Q Highland. And as you can see we're still staying in this awesome amusement park for another ride, and this time we got one of the steepest roller coasters in the world. And well, Takabisha is currently the steepest operating coaster in the world with a drop of 121 degrees, and this coaster is awesome. You have big whippy inversions, you have an awesome launch, but the coaster is quite rattly, and that's because it's a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. Now coming in at spot number 8 we got Kawasemi at Tobu Zoo Park, and Kawasemi is part of the iconic yet pretty rare roller coaster model called the Mega Light / Ultra Coaster by Intamin. And well, even though these rides are only around 30 meters / 100 feet tall, the ride is filled with many awesome and strong airtime moments. The triple consecutive S-hills are really one of the best moments on any coaster, but unfortunately Kawasemi is said to run a bit slower than the best Mega Light coaster, and that is Piraten at Djurs Sommerland. Now coming in at spot number 7 we got Hollywood DreamThe ride at Universal Studios Japan, and I would call this ride a one-of-a-kind attraction because this is a so-called mini hyper coaster by B&M. The ride is only 144 feet tall, and that is around the mid-40s in terms of meter, but these small low to the ground airtime hills still deliver awesome floater airtime. And you can also also wait in line for a train that goes backwards, so that's pretty awesome. Now coming in at spot number 6, we got Steel Dragon 2000 at Nagashima Sparland, and this huge giga roller coaster currently stands as the longest roller coaster in the world. And this is a special coaster because it's designed by Morgan, but the roller coaster trains are created by B&M. There are many airtime hills on this ride that do deliver some airtime, but it isn't really the best in the world. And while giving the huge size, speed and length of this ride, it is still a great ride experience. Now coming in at spot number 5, we got Pyrenees at Parque-Espana-Shima Spain Village. And well, that's quite a funny yet remote location for this awesome B&M inverted roller coaster. And Pyrenees is really one of the best inverts out there, and you can see it really looks like a familiar inverted coaster. Perhaps Raptor. And I don't really know how, because this ride just feels a bit better in terms of the strong G-forces and pacing. The ride experience is overall quite smooth with a small amount of rattle in the back row. Now coming in at spot number 4, we got Fujiyama at Fuji-Q Highland. And this really is a classic hypercoaster that opened all the way back in 1996. And unfortunately the ride is created by Tobu, and this manufacturer is not known for creating the most smooth ride experiences. And well, Fujiyama features an awesome first drop and many strong airtime moments, and it is really only on some of these bank transitions the roller coaster is quite rough. This coaster also packs in a few ejector airtime moments, which is a big surprise. Now coming in at spot number 3, we got Flying Dinosaur at Universal Studios Japan. And well, with no surprise, this is a flying coaster made by B&M, and this is really the best one of them all. And well, apart from the pretzel loop, these flying coasters are really known for being a bit graceful, but this is not the case with Flying Dinosaur. This flying coaster is just an awesome mix of non-stop action and very intense inversions, and the double corkscrew element is just insane. And now please beware, the line for this ride is pretty long. And now coming in at spot number 2, we got Hakugei at Nagashima Sparland. And well, with no surprise, we can see Hakugei near the top of my list because this is an RMC iBox roller coaster, and these are just known for having some awesome airtime moments and a lot of whip on these inversions. And well, this one is really one of the most top tier RMC iBox coasters out there, if not the best. And Hakugei doesn't really miss on any of these elements. You have an awesome 0G stall, you have many airtime moments such as wave turns, outer banks and also double down element. And now coming in at spot number 1, we got Egen at Fuji-Q Highland. And well, now I'm quite sad because this coaster has been standing but not operating for a year now. This ride is just the biggest and baddest of them all in terms of 4th dimension coasters, and we all know these are quite rare. Eejanaika features these controlled yet rotating seats that are just spinning throughout this whole crazy roller coaster layout. If you quickly had to describe Eejanaika, you could just take a look at X2 and make it bigger and faster, and that shortly described how it feels to ride this insane coaster. And well, if this ride doesn't really open again, we have a new number 1 in Japan, and that is of course Hakugei. And now we have finally gone through my list of the best coasters in Japan, and now please let me know in the comments what you think of my list. Do you agree or do you disagree with some of my picks? If you're really into these theme park and roller coaster videos, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. And now at the end of the day, I'm always gonna say bye bye.